Honey, the Oscars are tonight. You need. You were hanging around for Donut Sunday because you're going to be here a few minutes still. That's a great. That is such a. I should just let us end on that, but I just really have a few things. But what a great thing. I mean, if you don't walk out of here with any thought but that one, there's a place in the line for everyone. Hallelujah. Okay, so they didn't tell you a couple things that I got to tell you about. One is the last day we were there. Okay, so 2 days we spent, as the group did last year. This rubble doesn't miraculously appear at the job site. You have to go and pick it up. And the first year I was there, it was everywhere in the streets, and it was. Even last year, it was pretty easy to get. Sometimes we were shoveling it off rooftops and stuff. This year was more difficult. And the last day we were there, we actually went down to the riverbed that's not a riverbed, that's really the refuse pile, because the river's dry most of the year until something like Hurricane Sandy comes along and washes it all out to sea. And there we are. And those of you who know your scriptures at all know that the concept of hell that we have comes from the Jewish, the Hebrew word Gehenna, which is the word that was used to describe the eternally burning garbage pit outside of Jerusalem. That's where the notion of hell came. The fires there never go out. It's true. This is true. There is such a place in Haiti, and it's the riverbed. And so we were running out of rubble, but there's a lot of rubble down in the riverbed, along with the pigs that graze there, along with the goats that graze there, along with the medical equipment, the syringes, the needles, the bags that have been dumped there because there's no garbage. And that's where we spent our last morning in Haiti, was digging rubble out of the riverbed. Jim Garanzi, a friend of mine who went with us on the trip, who I met swimming years ago, Catholic, he said to me on the ride home last night, or right west when we were walking around it was while we were driving into Port-au-Prince yesterday, he said, John, if there's a place that's more hell on earth, on this earth, he said, I don't know where it is. You drive by going into Port-au-Prince, you see, somebody mentioned 350,000 people still living in tents, people living in metal shacks, corrugated tin that you wouldn't put your chickens in. It can be overwhelming. It can be depressing. And you think how people live amidst that joy, amidst that desperation with such joy is what I wanted to say. Somebody, Steve, I think, mentioned the accident, and I just want to build on that. In Haiti, if you have an accident, the police come and they decide on the spot what your not what your fine should be, but how much the guy should pay for having hit you. So there's, needless to say, a lot of arguing back and forth at the site. So we were there for 45 minutes while they're dealing with the broken mirror sticking out the side, when this bus that looked more like a tank took off our back end. And it reminded me, as I was lying in bed last night thinking about that, it reminded me of Haiti as a whole, that the earthquake and then the flood and then another hurricane, and then, people who are dealing. I feel like in my life, when one bad thing happens, it can throw me out of sync for a week. These people are dealing with it seems like just an endless flow of desperate times. There's one thing I want to say to you. I got 3 more things, and no, I actually got more than that. And we're already out of time, so just hang. If you got to go, you got to go. Door's right there, if you can find your way. But, some people, I think, have this perception that people who are poor because they're lazy. And it is not so. I can honestly say that in the 8 days we were there, I don't think I saw more than a few people sitting around, and most of them were crippled. You saw people. We fed a guy who was walking around in bare feet, whose toes were totally deformed, and he was not working. But the people there are working incredibly hard, and they're working, most of them, for at most, well, I won't say at most, but an average of $1 a day. Support a family. I invite you. Support a family on $1 a day. And you say, well, things are different there. Yeah, well, of course they're different there, because you don't have anything. $1 a day. So the challenges are enormous. So okay. So I want to say a couple things. Right. One is I'm so grateful to these guys. We had such a blessed experience. These folks represented you incredibly well. And they did so with these other Americans, Canadians, folks. And the sense of brother and sisterhood that we had with those people was simply phenomenal. I mean, don't you feel like we knew those people for a lifetime? It was incredible. The sense of the body of Christ was just such a wonderful, blessed experience. I don't want to brag, but I also just want to say a word about my wife. Some of you have seen some pictures of her. Maybe, if not, hopefully we'll get some. One of the blessings that she's brought to our family, that I know Hannah would agree with this, is just a love of language. And I have none of it. I try and speak. Hey, boom by guy. Good stuff. That's what I brought home. Hey, aren't you impressed? Boom by guy. That's my French. But Mary, she's down there. We went Sunday afternoon after we'd been to the incredible worship service. We go out to the ocean for the one brief time of rest that we had. And the rest of us are off swimming or talking with each other. Mary's sitting down in about a foot of water, and first she has 2 Haitian women gathered around her. And then it's 3. And then it's 4. Bridget actually has a series of photos that you can, I'm not making this up, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there were 8 or 9 by the time she's finished over the course of an hour, just talking about family and stuff like that. It was just truly an amazing thing to watch her interact with these people. I was really blessed to be her husband at that point. So I'm always blessed to be her husband. Sorry.